Up next is Mattrick. Did I pronounce that correctly? All right. Welcome on up, Mattrick.
Sort of have my own introduction. It's autodidactic. My dreams are fantastic. People think it's magic, but please call me Mattrick. In any case, I used that actually last year. I've been here the last 3 years. I have a book that's published. John Vibes is the publisher. He's a sort of buddy of mine. It's relevant whether he's a buddy of mine. Honestly, the whole culture of people worship. What the hell is this, honestly? This is just sort of me just ranting, honestly. I'm not going to rant, but I would like actually to discuss my book in just a little bit, in the sense that there is, given the context of all of this stuff, look, no fear-mongering. Let's talk solutions, okay? We have the ability in our time to actually change the shit that's going on if we take responsibility now, if we grow up, wake up, actually take responsibility now, okay? If we do that, we actually have the potential to change the course of history. And if we instead of acquiescing to the acceptance of the inevitability of the system and the problem, and instead of thinking that, honestly, any of these things that can be put upon you, put upon your consciousness, put upon your feelings, put upon your mind, can bring you down, you're a fool. You are not this person in the first place. You are consciousness having the experience of a person. That fundamental reality connects all of us because the deepest part of me is the deepest part of you. Given that fundamental realization, we can come to getting on the same page. Let's get on the same page for a second, okay? We're all one. I love all of you like you're my children. And I really do. I do. I love all of you. And I want you all to be happy. And for all of you to realize that you can't be limited by the systems that are set upon you, okay? The reason you can't is because you are the currency. You are the currency, okay? Stop thinking that money is relevant. It's a fucking piece of paper that's ornately colored with paint. What the fuck are we thinking here? Why are we enslaved by just this item? We are God having the experience of its own creation through its own avatars. How could we be limited by such a death note as a dollar bill? That's what it is. Why else would you have Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill? His last words were, "I killed the bank," for Christ's sake. That's a death note. It's like a mafia saying insult to the people who created this country. Now, granted, this country isn't perfect, and I'm not saying that government is even necessary. The problem is that we have become enslaved to our own apathy. We are God, and we have become enslaved by our own apathy. How has this become our reality, people? You are God having the experience of its own reality, and yet you will acquiesce. We have the potential in our time to change the course of history, but we have to practice. We have to realize that we have this responsibility and practice something. Practice our own spirituality. Practice our own version of something that is greater than ourselves. What I have called this practice is the Pentivium. It has 5 stages. The first stage is a stage of purification, both from our culture and from our own, sense of self that has become bogged down by our culture. The sense of separation from this unifying force that is consciousness, that is God. This is the esoteric truth within every single religion across the globe, and yet it is not something that on the whole is taught to. Who discusses this with the average person? Here. Do we discuss this with average people? Is this something we're afraid to talk about with the average person? Is this something that that is the key, is to start to teach others the knowledge that we have acquired. Those are the stages of the Pentivium. To purify yourself of our culture, to learn new knowledge, to learn the occult, to learn the spiritual self-knowledge that is required for enlightenment, to then apply that knowledge, teach others, to apply that, practice spiritual practice, meditate, do yoga, whatever. Connect with yourself, become self-aware. And then you will, once you have mastered this and balanced yourself in this practice of acquiring knowledge and applying it, then you can play life as the avatar, as God. You can play life. This is the next stage of our evolution as humanity. The Pentivium. My book is Philosophea Solutions. And that is one chapter in the book. Is actually the education aspect of all of this. Creating a new culture through our choices. Through our choices. Okay? Love and appreciation.
All right, thank you, Mattrick.